She down. Elon's hired us to go hunt deer on Mars. And if you say there's not deer on Mars, how you know? So we're at the Y. Gonna walk around. Haven't walked around this field all off season. Gonna walk around, look for some sheds. Hopefully find one. If this is your first time, if you've never been here, happy to have you. If you never watch another video, hope you kill your best buck you've ever killed in your entire life this year. If you watch and you're like, man, that's just a regular old idiot from South Alabama, he don't know what he's talking about, that's fine. I will say, if I'm saying it, I believe in what I'm saying, and I've had some knowledge or experience in it, or I wouldn't be talking about it. No, I don't have a lot of higher education experience, if that disqualifies me in your book. Have a good one. But we're not hawking a bunch of products and brands and trying to be millionaires. We're just out here. Ain't nobody telling us what to say, what we can or what we can't say. We just love being in the outdoors. We love hanging out with our buddies, making memories. This is the lamb that my dad has worked for since I've been alive, 36 years. And it just means a lot to be able to hunt in a place where your family has memories. Where my granddad, who's passed now, used to come and hang out with us at the end of the season and smoke the cabin out at about 85 degrees. You'd have to strip all your clothes at the front door before you went inside. But old Papaw, we just love doing it. I mean, and if that statement ever becomes not true, you know, it's the year, if you're watching this in the year 2031 and I'm talking about, you know, Elon's hired us to go hunt deer on Mars, then, and I'm saying, you know, buy this product, you know, you can come back to this video and tell me I'm a fraud. And if you say there's not deer on Mars, how you know? I say, I mean, who knows there's not deer on the moon? We ain't been there either. So, if there's deer on the moon, I could kill deer on the moon. All right, this took a weird turn, but we're gonna walk around and look for some sheds. Happy y'all are here. Nice little fresh rain. Probably 2-3 days ago. Everything's wet down here, and the deer are moving. I've been slacking on the cameras a little bit, if I'm being honest. Slacking on changing the batteries a little bit and SD cards. Finally got around to doing it last week, and Captain Mid and Jason were sending me pictures of some fresh growth. I'll probably put in some pictures right here, but they growing. And it's exciting. It's an exciting time, important time in a lot of ways for nutrition. We've talked about nutrition for bucks, for does. I'm down here swapping out my SD cards, putting out just a little bit of feed, but they have the cell cams popping this week. I prefer old school. We probably shouldn't get into that, but all right, I prefer old school trail cams. Not really, because I think the cell cams are too much of an advantage, or you know, a lot of the reasons you hear guys talk about. I just don't think I don't think I need them in my pocket, number one. I'm pretty deep into it as it is, and it's probably better for me to leave the land, go home, check it, be done with it. I also think it's just different looking at pictures throughout the week, just when you can, you know, they hit your pocket, whatever, and you look, versus sitting down and really studying the pictures. I think you kind of get a better view of what's happening on your property if you can sit down and study them. And if you got cell cams, you do that, that's awesome. But for me, I just like sitting down and going through cards, kind of getting the whole view of it. And I think that kind of gives an advantage to the old school SD cards. It'd be kind of like, you know, you and I are going to watch a little over 2 hour long movie. If you've got cell cams, you're watching that movie over the next week. You're watching it 20 minutes a day. Whereas I sit down in one day and watch the full movie. You got to keep up with characters over multiple days, what's happening, why that was important to the storyline. You know, I just get to sit down. There's no way I could watch a movie like that. And to me, it's very similar, because you're trying to track which bucks are where, who they're with during this time of year, especially if you get to hunt a velvet season. If you get to hunt a velvet season, or you get to hunt in a state where it's a really late rut, like our rut is middle of January, then you're going to be able to hunt when they're still in bachelor groups. And if you're hunting when they're in bachelor groups, and you know which bucks are roaming together, you know, those smaller bucks, even though you don't see them throughout the whole summer, like they can be important and kind of giving you tipping you off to when your target buck, the buck you're trying to kill, could be moving in, or you see a buck move on camera, you know, scraggly little 6-point or whatever, in an area that's nearby. And if you know that he's with old big boy, old sad daddy, then it could help you kill him. But that's my thoughts on cell cams versus traditional. I'm certain that is not a popular opinion. And you know, we got guys that live far away, so that kind of gives them the opportunity to be getting pictures while they're out there in Florida. I do love running trail cameras year round. Even if we did nothing in the off season, I'd want to have the cameras out, coming down, checking them, seeing what was going on. Because most of the time, you're not going to necessarily get something super spectacular. I mean, worst case scenario for me is I'm running cameras and I'm getting updates on deer. That's the worst case scenario. And if I only got to watch deer the rest of my life on trail cameras, I'd be totally fine. Best case scenario is you're getting to watch the deer on your property and something spectacular happens. Something just unbelievable. It's rare, but the more you got your cameras out there, the higher the odds. These horseflies are really after me. We just posted a video about running cameras year round, things that you can look for. I'm not an expert, I mean, at anything, but I've been running trail cameras a long time, and I really do love doing it. And so I don't know if that qualifies me to talk about it or not, but I'm gonna do it anyways. It's actually a really pretty little pocket right here. It's got this smaller white oak. Alright, it's really hard to point at these trees. White oak. Make sure I'm pointing at the right ones. That big one right there, there's a couple past it on either side. Big one right in the middle. Big one right there. Right here close to me. And then one right, I think it's right here. One right there. A little pocket on the edge of this hill. Goes down into a draw. A hardwood draw, hardwood bottom we hunt out of. That hill is, or that field is up the hill this way. You can kind of see the pines starting to thicken up around it. This could be a sweet spot. There's a lot of deer moving in here. I would guess they're working above the draw. Obviously going up and down the hill from the draw to the field for sure, but nice little timber transition. There's pines all the way around it. There's a clear cut on the west side of it. There's a clear cut on the west and the south side of it. Hardwood, big hardwood bottom, north side of it. So a lot of different timber transitions. We may have to try and get back in here. I mean, this is like perfect bow setup size, because there's some bigger trees, bigger slick bark trees around the outside, and you're probably 40 yards max to the other side of it. So we may come back, try and set something up in here later on. Never been to this place. Didn't really know it existed. Probably, I mean, I guess I could have found it on a map, you know, depending on how much you want to sit and study a map and do that to try and learn your property, but it's cool to walk in on places like that and kind of get the game plan going for how you might be able to use it. Oh, scrape fields, maybe 150 yards that way. You gotta go nuts in these pines. Chasing, kind of staging, winning the field. Hard to hunt the pines when they look like that. If you hadn't gone in there and developed a lane or something, you're just waiting on a select cut. Big old rub. This little drainage, I think this used to be a road that it was before my time. Like, I was alive, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was busy wrecking four-wheelers and throwing Nerf footballs into the fire pot. I think they called it the line. We had a field somewhere down in here that we gave up at some point, and they ended up planting it back, but gets a little prettier over in here. That draw wraps all the way around where we were a minute ago, which was around the hill this way, maybe over in here. The draw comes down, wraps around the base of this hill, opens up hardwoods into some bigger stuff. Yeah, this is gorgeous. And then the property line are the select cut lanes. I kind of like my little pointer I got here. This is the move. Hardwoods, where it opens up the daylight, you can see real big. Those select cut lanes are off the property. Kind of can't believe we haven't found a shed though. The bush hog lane up here. We'll jump on it and walk back up. It'd be nice, huh? Bush hog and keep one of them select cut lanes clean. Be wearing them out. They don't hunt them though. I have no doubts that there's tons of areas on our property that if people were to see them and then us tell them that we don't hunt them, they'd have the same reaction I just did. But it always feels pretty easy to look at a spot and go, man, y'all gotta be hunting right here. Y'all could tear them up on somebody else's property. Oh, scrape. Probably that one too. They're all starting to have the vegetation grow back, but scrumptious. This right here. If you watch the vlogs, maybe the first one, I think. I'm not sure if y'all can see that when I'm doing it like that. That's what we're going for. I'm just trying to make a bowl, so when it rains, it holds water. Like this one's really wet. Obviously, there's been deer in it, but not exactly holding water yet. Newer Salt Lake. That's what we're going for. Talk about a diabolical place for him to hang out. Inside the camera housing. It's just uncalled for. In other news, look at how they're eating all these. Every single one of them is nipped. Right there. Both of those. Nipped. Nipped. Nope. Nope. I just realized I'm nipped isn't like eating. Alright, anyways. Come on, let's be mature this week, okay? We had a lapse in judgment a couple weeks ago. She down. Oh man. Hogs. For the record, yes, I did check my entire body after seeing that tick inside the camera housing. Oh yeah. We set traps last vlog and this guy just couldn't resist the marshmallow and Swedish Fish combo. We've actually started getting turkey poults on camera, which is a super encouraging sign that our trapping efforts are paying off. Trapping is an important part of managing your land, especially if you're feeding, because the raccoons can basically take over a feed location if left unchecked. That creates unnecessary disruption and waste, but more critically, turkeys will flock to feed sites just like other wildlife, which increases the chances that raccoons show up and destroy nests full of future birds. And just generally speaking, turkeys are dumber animals. It's coming! So maybe you noticed, maybe you didn't, but if you do have to fill a gravity feeder in the rain, it's got a lid on it. The strategy would be open the lid, put the feed in, shut the lid, open your next bag, the way that I just did. A lot of grains now have, which it's not raining that hard right now anymore. Man, look at that. Oh my gosh. That's the dream, dude. Stump, mineral on it. Rain comes, fills up the stump. Ugh! Let's go. But what were we talking about? It's not raining that hard anymore. If you can find roasted grains, that's going to help with moisture tolerance. You roast the grain, obviously you're pulling moisture out of whatever that grain is, soybeans, peanuts. So if you have to put it on the ground, finding some sort of roasted grains does help with moisture tolerance, especially in the fall. I think in the fall and winter would be closer to when guys are having to put it on the, or wanting to put it on the ground. You know, they're deep in the woods, maybe trying to push closer into where those deer are bedded. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Finding something that's a little more moisture tolerant goes a long way in a feeder, because if moisture gets in that feeder, it's no good. Well, luckily I can drive around it in this select cut lane, but the main gate's over there. That just happened. So there you go. While we were up at the north end of the property. Fresh as it gets. How about that? Pretty good sized tree. There you go. That's my boot. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, man, Matt, you really sound like an idiot. But I already said it. All right. That's my boot. Y'all can see my boot clearly. I don't know why I said it. I'm just trying to help you out. That is prime napping audio right there. Rain on the tin roof. There's no sleep like being at the hunting club when it's raining. I usually do not do this, but I'm going to go ahead and tease next week. All right. You do not want to miss next week's vlog. We got 2 bars of fuel left on the Honda. So we're going to play a game next week of, does Matt do the responsible thing and show up and get the gas cans and go get fuel, or do we roll with it? And spoiler alert, let's get it. We're going. So, all right, y'all have a good one.